Welcome to another episode of Prisoner to Billionaire. This one is entitled My Life Doing Life. I entitled it that one because I wanted to speak about how my life was when I was doing life. And as I spoke on in the prior episodes, I went to prison. I got locked up at 18, went to prison at 19. And a lot of people probably won't tell you this, but like for me, when I got to at the reception center and I went to actual prison, like to me it was scary because I hadn't been locked up like that before. Like growing up, I went to juvenile a few times, and but I always stayed on probation. So I don't know how it is in your cities and your states, but out here where I'm from, like they had work detail programs that I was going to every Saturday, Sunday, weekends. Like if you mess up, don't go to them, then you end up in juvenile or worse, or YA, whatnot. But so when I first got to prison, I was a little jittery. I didn't know what to expect. Like, I got those rumors from my family members that had been in prison before. But overall, now it's my turn to be up in there and have my own experiences. And for me, it was like when I first got there, I'm still me. So I was like, I thought I'm a little tough nigga thing. I'm thinking I'm tough. So I'm gonna go in there with my little me mug on and be who I was. But on the inside, I was a little afraid a little bit, just to be honest. And I was 19 when I came. They still had to wait for a little while, and it was old niggas up in there like on swole swole. I remember stories that some of the OGs used to tell me that like back in their day, like if they could, they'll put their arm in through the bars. But if they arm wouldn't fit through the bars, then they couldn't get parole. And at that time, it was still people around there with them type of arms that wasn't parole. A lot of them had life, but I'm just speaking on how it was. So for me, a young dude coming from the streets, I'm used to holding pistols and doing what I do. I squabbled my entire life, but I was squabbling grown men, but I wasn't squabbling grown men that been in prison like that. You know what I mean? I squabbled some of the OG homies and all the stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like now it's a totally different atmosphere. So I went in there a little afraid, excuse me. And it's crazy because it didn't take long for me to get back into me. Like that fear was gone after a little while. And I'm gonna tell you a little story about how that went. It was like I just got off of orientation. For y'all that don't know, like when you first get to different prisons or whatnot, they put you in not all prisons, but certain prisons, they put you in like a building where it's all newcomers, and it's for like new fish or whatnot. And that's what give the counselors time to go through your file and see where the best place to put you, where you from, what set you from, so forth and so on. So, but after I got off orientation, before I got off orientation, my cellie that I was in the cell with at the time, he had already went to the main line, to the GPR, and he's sending me messages back there telling me that ain't none of my homies over here from Fresno. So when I come out, he ain't had no homies over there either. He's from Long Beach. But normally it's a lot of people from Long Beach, but at that time he didn't have no homies. And he was like, man, when you come out here, just me and you just roll, you know what I mean? We just kick it. And then it was a couple other individuals that didn't have homies neither. So we ended up all kind of like clicking up, but we was all young dudes. Like I think I was the youngest one. I was 19, and the oldest one I think he was like 23. I think. So when I get to the yard, I get to the main line. Like the first yard we go to, like they introducing me to other individuals from different neighborhoods or whatnot. And like I went when I was going out there, I'm like, I'm shaking everybody's hand, like, oh, what's up, homie? What's up, homie? What's up, homie? Like speaking to each individual, like, what's up? How you doing? Or whatever. My name such and such and such and such. And I get to this one dude. He looked like a little square ass nigga, but he from somewhere. He from some different neighborhood. And when I get to him, like I reached out my hand to shake his hand, like, "What's up, bro? My next such such," and he just looked at my hand like I had shit on it. And to me, it was like he was trying to mark me out. You know, like I'm some type of bitch ass nigga. That's the way I took it. I don't know if he meant it that way or not, but my thoughts from back then to now, yeah, I know he was doing some bullshit. But so me, it was like it didn't even cross my mind like thinking how I'm gonna respond to this or how I'm gonna react to it. I just reacted normally how I react. I'm like, ah, and like for people that know me, like I smile a lot. You know what I mean? So it's like whether I'm smiling or laughing or joking or whatever, it's like it's that same genuine smile. I'm me, but sometimes I laugh and like if I got that, it's a different type of laugh. Like it's a different type of laugh. You got to get to know me to understand the differences. And it's like, like, oh, you bitch ass nigga. Like, nigga, you got me falling. Oh, I try to shake your bitch ass hand anyway, nigga. Like that. And that's what came out of me. That's what I said. And I was willing to deal with whatever consequences came from me responding that way. And now, to me, it felt like I took the ball, like I shot the ball. You know what I mean? Like the ball was in his court now. Now it's your turn. Now what you gonna do? Because I was willing to go to whatever it was gonna go to. I was willing to go there. And everybody that's in the general area looking like, nigga, it's your turn. What you gonna say? Nigga, this nigga called you bitch. They ain't saying that, but everybody looking and they know, like by prison politics, prison rules, nigga call you bitch and they get off or do whatever you gonna do. And bro didn't do nothing. He just looked at me and then he just walked. He looked at everybody else and just walked off. And all them niggas started laughing and all that stuff. I laughed with him, but I wasn't. Honestly, I wasn't laughing because it's funny. I was laughing, just laughing with everybody else. You know, now I'm like, okay, now this nigga might try to come back and stab me or do something like that, but nothing ever happened. And if he did, then it was what it was because my mind was already there. And after that, I started living by a different principle. And it was because that took my fear away. Like after that day, it took all my fear away. It made me not give a fuck. I'm supposed to get at nigga how like I am. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person to bully people. I hate bullies. You know what I mean? I get down with a bully in the day. I don't care if he how big he is. You know what I mean? Whether win, lose, or draw. And I told like younger homies that's later on down the line because at that time I was a young homie, but I grew up in prison, so by the time I got to the point to getting close, not even getting close to get out, I started being a bigger homie even then. You know what I mean? Like big homie, all my homies look at me like that. Even my older homies, they gave me that G respect because I give them that G respect. I ain't never gonna disrespect none of my G homie. I ain't gonna never respect no older niggas unless they disrespect me. Then that's different. But I'm just speaking like in general terms. I respect my elders, and I'm gonna give them that respect. But people like for me, it's like always. I felt I'm genuine. I'm a genuine individual. So people gravitate towards me, whether and even squares and people don't really mess with like that. Like they gravitate toward me because I treat them the same. I'm not that type of person. Don't try to get over. Like once you try to cross me, then that's different. But as far as people that just because you might be smart or you might be a nerd, you wear glasses, you do. Some people try to use that against individuals. But like I said, I was a chubby little kid growing up. I used to get teased all the time. I was broke. I didn't have the best clothes and all the stuff growing up. So all that stuff is I know it's like something that's normal to me. So I don't like when other people do other people like that because like I said, I wasn't a good joker, but I could fight good. And, I can't whoop everybody. I'm not saying that, but I'm going to give you a run for your money, win, lose, draw. And if, I'm going to be straight up with you. If you whoop my ass, nigga, you're going to have to whoop my ass every time you see me. And one day you might as well let me win because I ain't gonna stop until I win. You know what I mean? So you might whoop my ass every single day you see me, nigga. But nigga, I ain't gonna stop until I win, nigga. So you might as well just let me win, and then we call it square after that. And that just keeps me at 100. That's me. And I don't know. That's just the way I was raised. That's the way I am. My grandma used to whoop my butt, and then, well, not my grandma, my mama used to whoop my ass, and I better not come home and say I didn't fight somebody. Like when I was young, my mama and them used to take me to fight. Like somebody messed with my cousin, my mama would take me over there, and if like they mama get to tripping, my mama whooping on them. My mama got squabbles, so I learned from her. Put it that way. So anyway, back to my story, back to what I was saying. Like, for me, prison kind of like I grew up in prison. It made me a stronger individual because the things I was going through before then, like I was out in the streets doing dumb shit and I was in prison doing dumb shit. But over time, as time went on, I started learning stuff too. I wasn't just doing stuff off the whim, and I started living by a principle. That's what I was speaking on earlier. My bad, I forgot what I was saying. And then, like I say this, how the principle go? I forgot the principle. I've been out a little while. Forgive me for that, but it go. If it ain't about nothing, then it ain't about nothing. And if it ain't about nothing, then it ain't about nothing. No, that ain't how I go. My bad. If it ain't nothing to talk about, it ain't nothing to talk about. And if it ain't nothing to talk about, then it ain't nothing to talk about. That's how I go. My bad. And what I mean by that is like, especially in prison, if it ain't nothing like if this ain't about to lead to violence, then it ain't nothing to talk about. And if it is about to lead to violence, then it ain't nothing to talk about. Because if it's gonna lead to violence, why y'all talking about it? And honestly, that principle got me in a lot of trouble throughout my time in prison because I didn't talk things out. Like I just dealt with whatever situation was. If we was gonna go there, we was gonna go there. And I'm not gonna let somebody else get the upper hand on me, so I'm gonna get off first. And I didn't ever want to be on the second wave. You know what I mean? Like for people that haven't been to prison, like in riots and stuff of that nature, the second wave, that's a rough wave. The first wave, everybody ain't gonna be prepared for the situation. They ain't gonna have their knives, they ain't gonna have their weapons or whatnot. They ain't gonna be like posted up, ready to go. On the first wave, when people get into that little riots or whatnot, the majority of the time it's just like, some people, because some people stay burning up. So some people go, they're just keeping it 100. Some people stay burning up, you know what I mean? Especially on them 4 yards. Like majority of people stay burning up, but it's still like spur of the moment stuff. It's different than when now y'all done been on lockdown and when y'all come back off, it's cracking. It's like it's a difference and like your whole like everything is different. I can't really explain this to y'all, but when you sitting in that cell and knowing like shit, they finna open up these doors, nigga, tomorrow, nigga, and like the Mac reps come around telling everybody, bro, this what's going on, whoop, whoop, you know what I mean, or your homeboys telling you, or you telling your homeboys like, bro, this what's going on, and you already know what's going on. Everybody know what's going on. That's stuff different. You know what I mean? That's stuff different. So it like the principle that I live by, like I explained earlier, kind of like cause sometimes you could talk stuff down. You know what I mean? Like you had an opportunity to de-escalate the situations, and a lot of times I didn't give myself the time to de-escalate the situation because I was living by that principle. And when I said I was living by that principle, that was something I stood on, and that was something that I kind of like had my homies standing on too. Like, bro, if it ain't nothing to talk about, then it ain't nothing to talk about, bro. And I feel like sometimes I feel like, that wasn't a good principle to live by. But for me, it was a good principle to live by. And I feel like it was a good principle for my younger homies to live by at the time. Different times call for different measures, different things, because, when I first came, it was like I say, I wasn't in there when it was active, but I was there when it was active. And those are the times people didn't really talk stuff out. Like you might have one certain individual go to, or a couple of individuals that go over there and try to speak for the race or whatnot, try to kill the issue before it blow up, or your neighborhoods or whatever the case may be. But overall, if something was physical go, everybody already knew it was physical go. This was to blow up. So be on that first wave was like that was what my homies was telling me, like keep your back against the wall, nigga, keep sticking and moving, don't just stay in one spot if it's a ride because you never know when you like somebody gonna come up behind you. If you moving, it's hard for them to just target you or vice versa. Like that's just life in prison, And I know it's kind of like crazy that I'm speaking on it like it's nothing, but that's prison life. And as I spoke on before, when I was in there, it was like I'm following all these guidelines and rules that and regulations that was established before I got there. I'm not gonna be one of these ones that's breaking the rules. You know, my name means something to me, and it still means something to me. And it's like I don't want my name to be drug in the dirt. Of course, there's gonna be always some people lying, trying to smut you up and make it seem like you ain't who you are. But that's life. No matter what you do, I don't care if you did everything right 100% of the time. There's gonna be some haters out there that's gonna try to smut you up, lie on you, put different rumors out there, do all the shit. But if you know who you are, then nothing they say gonna gonna affect who you are because and it ain't gonna affect who it's not gonna affect who you are to other individuals that's genuine to you because they know you for who you are. Not saying that some people can't change because it's always like you got certain individuals that may be like big riders, big with the shit, and then they next thing you know they done some foul ass shit and ain't that person no more. But I'm saying, as far as I'm concerned, as far as me, it was like I didn't want to be that. You know what I mean? I ain't never want to become one of them people that was somebody and then ended up being a nobody. And I feel like I accomplished that. Like I stood on them 10 toes. I stood on my principles from day one to day to 27 years later. You know, and it wasn't easy. Don't get me wrong. Like life was what it was. You know, sometimes I found myself in a hole and in a shoe and doing shit that I might not have agreed with at the time, but I feel like every situation that I was in, like God put me in that situation for a purpose to learn something, like, even if it was doing wrong. Like if I was doing something wrong, like I always ended up like learning something out of that experience. So it was knowledgeable for me, and it might not have been something that people might approve of, but it ain't about people. It's about me. You know what I mean? It's about my relationship with God and my relationship with my Creator. Because even before I did stuff, it wasn't like I was, oh, it's gonna be okay because I did it. No, in my mind, I was like, it is what it is, and it was like, I was gonna be where I was gonna be. I was gonna be in the hole. I might be in the shoe. I might be dead, whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna do what I was supposed to do because I don't. I stood on them principles, and at the end of the day, like regardless of everything that I went through, I did everything I had to do for the purpose of me getting out. I wouldn't be out right now if I didn't do everything that I was supposed to do while I was in there. And that goes from educating, not just illegal stuff. That goes from educating myself, going to school, going to getting degrees and getting education, going to self help programs, all the stuff. Because I remember in the beginning, I used to go to even the law library. Like I remember when I first got there, everybody was like, "Oh, you need to go to the law library. You need to go to the law library. You're trying to get out of what we got like." But and at first, I'm rebellious. I didn't even listen to my mama, so I'm gonna listen to some niggas. But so and I had an attorney. I didn't have no paid attorney. I had the I guess it was a state appointed appellate attorney, and I'm thinking he gonna fight for me. And I believe I spoke on this before. Like I had a whole lot of stuff going on my trial. Even in the jury room, I had jurors go to my attorney after the trial and tell him certain things that was going on, and I had appealable issues that should have got me out of prison a long time ago, but it didn't turn out that way. And like I said before, my state appointed appellate attorney, like when they file in the state courts don't really like overturning their own decisions. So your true action or my true action, whoever's true action, comes when you get your case into the federal courts. But once you get to the federal level, you don't have that state appointed attorney no more, and the federal courts don't give you an attorney. So you either have to be able to afford to get yourself an attorney, or you're gonna have to do it yourself or get one of the legal beagles that, some of the people that's knowledgeable in the law that's in there, been studying law in there to do it. And a lot of times you have some of them people acting like they know what they doing as far as the convicts, and they don't really know what they doing. They just trying to get your money and act like they know what they doing. And you know that stuff be crazy because people be like, well, as far as I'm concerned, me, like I was because I didn't know how to do law. And even though I listened to a couple of individuals after I found out that my attorney wasn't going to be there and I started trying to go to the law library, I didn't know what to look for. And then you try to ask individuals in there while they in there, that's in the law library while you in there, like for assistance or whatnot. But a lot of times they don't have time for you, especially if you ain't paying them to do it. If you're not paying them to do it, and they working on their case or other people's case that they getting paid to do it, they not assisting you in what you trying to do. And the people working in the law library, they got their own things that they doing. So it's really kind of difficult to learn on your own if you haven't got. You need to get in there like as soon as you find yourself in prison. Start going in there. They say they got tablets and stuff nowadays that they can research legal law stuff now. So utilize that time, your free time to study cases and different stuff of that nature. That's going to help you get up out of there, or help you be able to file an appeal in the federal courts, just in case you don't get out in the state courts. But for me, it was like it was difficult because like once I like I tried to get a couple people to help me get into the federal courts. And even though I had like legit reasons to get up out of there, out of prison, like I didn't get my stuff in on time. Like I was on the 4 yard and we was on lockdown all the time. So they say they supposed to toll your time when you're on lockdown, which means they stop the time because you only got a year to file. So they supposed to stop the time while you're on lockdown. But a lot of times that stuff don't really happen because now you got to prove that you was on lockdown. So if you didn't have all the paperwork and all that to file and show them that we was on lockdown, that's why I couldn't get my case and my appeal in, then they ain't gonna want to hear it. They gonna give you all these legal terms telling you why they not doing it. And when they did that to me, I ain't gonna lie, like that kind of like put me in a state of mind where I didn't give a fuck about nothing, like, because I felt like I was never coming home. And in the beginning, even you go to prison with life or whatnot, you still got hope and things of that nature that telling you, oh, I'm gonna get out on this appeal or I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna do this. But when you get that letter in the mail from the federal court saying, yo, basically like the case is over, like it's done. Just imagine how that would make you feel. Like basically saying, "Oh no, you spending the rest of your life in prison." That kind of fucked my head up, and it was like at that time, my kids and stuff was coming to see me here and there. Like my baby mama was bringing them up, and my sister and a couple of my other family members was coming, and like I had desires to be there to teach my kids, to be a father to my kids, and I'm telling them that once this appeal go through, I'm gonna be home and da 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 da. And now I gotta tell them, or don't tell them what happened, or keep lying to them and tell them, I'm waiting on this or waiting on that, when I'm knowing what they done said. And even though you try to find other avenues to get out, it ain't no guarantees. And you look forward to case or um what's the word I'm looking for? When you look forward to them passing certain laws that might be beneficial to your freedom. And when those laws don't pass or when things of that nature go on, it's like all over again. You going through these same emotions all over again. And that shit fuck with you. That shit fuck with your head. Like fuck with you mentally. It's hard. And when I came, like I say, when I got there, prison lifers wasn't getting family visits, like conjugal visits for y'all, like whatever it is y'all call it, wherever y'all at. But lifers wasn't getting conjugal visits and none of that at first. Like when at towards the end of my time, that's when they gave them back to us. But like for the majority of my time, like not even like damn near all my time, except I think maybe the last 3 years or 4 years, that's when they gave the lifers the family visits back. So I wasn't getting family visits, and I mean conical visits. I'm overnight visits for y'all that don't know. That's not like my family can't see me. And then like I was in the shoe a lot. I had indeterminate shoes. I was in a hole. Like so when you would know like it's certain spots that you go to that's where it's like they don't have and they said they shut them down like now, but when I was in there we was going and we would be in there for years. You know what I mean? I was in there for years a couple times. So it was like that's what it was. You know, the crazy part is like I'm gonna speak on that right now too. It's crazy too because in the shoot I was in, like most because I ended up going to the same shoe all the time, which was up in Pelican Bay, and like you in the cell by yourself. When I was in there using the cell by yourself, they had started making everybody separate. They couldn't have selling because things was going on and people was getting hurt and they in the cell being with other individuals. So they made everybody split up. And it's crazy because like when you on the main line, like you have certain like it's it's racial in California. It's different race. Everybody do their race thing. Then it's other separation as far as the blacks and the and the Mexicans and the whites or whatever and others. But like you have your individuals that you still talk that you still fuck with, even though they might be another race and never know when y'all gonna get into it or whatnot. You still have individuals that you fuck with on kind of like on a regular basis, especially when you go to work and education or whatever or different things of that nature. But you can't never get too close, because you never know when something gonna go on. And a lot of times, like I remember sometimes it was sometimes like bro, just it's like they motherfuckers tell me certain shit like, it's going up. You know what I mean? Like y'all we just stay away from each other type shit. And like so you try to stay away from, 'em, but at the end of the day, like hopefully you don't try to get on nothing of mine because I can't allow you to do nothing of mine. But back to what I was saying, like when you get to the shoe, it is different. I don't care if it's the most racist person that's in there, like, because it's on where I was at. It was it was only 8 people to a section. That means it was only 8 cells. And after they see your paperwork, they gotta check what you there for and all your information, see if you a solid individual or not. But once people see that you are who you supposed to be, like no matter how racist they is, you could be like the most racist individuals on the yard or whatnot. But like back there, at least in the sections as I was in, like we was all together. Like we it was crazy because like you can only get one package a year when you in the shoe. So it was only 8 of us. So we would like talk amongst each other, like, man, when you gonna get your package? When you gonna get your package or whatever? And you can only go to a canteen at that time for a certain amount of money. So every time when it's canteen or packages, we'll set it up to where we get them to where it's not like everybody getting them at the same time, and then nobody gonna have nothing. We'll get them to where it's gonna last for everybody. Like if you run out of something, somebody gonna look out for you and make sure you got it. And that stuff was like genuine to me because a lot of times, even on the main line, people don't do that for each other. But back there, we was back there for years together, and like I remember we used to be betting on the car races, on NASCAR races. You would pick a car, like pick your driver, your car for the year, like for that season. And then like they used to give us ice cream sandwiches. Like they used to give us ice cream sandwiches every Sunday. So then the races used to come on every Sunday. So when the police come by, you'd be like, It'd be like, or the CEO come by, he'd be like, or she, whoever it is, they'd be like, where the ice cream sandwiches go today? You know what I mean? Like, cause that's what we had bet. We had just bet the ice cream sandwich for that week. Like, whoever win that week, that race. And they'd be like, oh, give them the sale such and such. You know what I mean? But, you still, it's crazy because, you had your ones that you was probably like extra cool with. So y'all be like, bro, if y'all win, y'all keep y'all. If I win, y'all, I mean, and vice versa. But overall, it was just like it was genuine like camaraderie. And it's crazy because on the main line you can't do that a lot of times. Well, I don't know about now, but back when I was in it, you couldn't do that a lot of times. And if you did, and it couldn't be seen by other individuals outside of your race because or in your race because people would be tripping while you eating with such and such. They don't, blacks don't really trip like that, but other races kind of like trip on their folks. But so they had, so it was just crazy. Man, I'm just rambling off at the mouth, but I feel good about this episode a little bit. So I mess up certain here and there, but that's just me. Like I said, I'm not gonna be doing too much editing while I'm doing this stuff. I'm just giving you my opinion on the stuff. While in the meantime, before I get everything set up the way I want to get it set up to where I can do interviews with other individuals and their experiences and other people, like my family members and different other individuals that been in prison, the ones that was affected by us going to prison, so forth and so on. So to give y'all not that's watching this an understanding of how it was for them, how it is for me, how it is for other individuals, and how it might be like you can find that somebody may be going through the same stuff that you going through in your life. So you ain't alone out there. You always got somewhere you can come to because this platform is open for anybody that want to comment on it, and you can get feedback not only from myself, but once I start interviewing these other individuals or whatnot, get feedback. Get ask some questions. You can question. Get ask them some questions, or they can respond to your questions and whatnot. They can respond to your questions. They can ask you questions if you want to respond back to them. That's up to you. It's on you. This platform is open for you to do whatever you need to do. You know, I'm a genuine individual. I'm not gonna edit your stuff. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I just want y'all to keep watching me, like, subscribe, and y'all have a nice day. Another episode, Prisoner Billionaire.